What's going on, YouTube? This is the first of its kind video, and it's kind of a shame that my phone is so crappy. It's really not getting, like, I can see pretty clearly outside. I mean, it's obviously dark outside, but I can see the plants across the street. I can see the cars, and it's kind of just barely picking it up in the phone. Probably because the lens in the phone is smaller than the lens in my eye, and my eye, although, actually, yeah, I definitely am seeing in higher definition than this, higher definition with more light than this camera lens. But anyways, we are at what day is this? Well, I know it's Monday, but what day of boondocking is it? I think I started last Monday, so day 8, 7 days a week. So Monday through Sunday was 7. Oh, excuse me. And today's 8. So the 8th day, boondocking in the car by choice. I definitely have, working a full-time job. Not making the best money in the world, but not making the worst money in the world. I can afford an apartment, but there's two main reasons that I don't, maybe there's a few more than that, but there's a couple main reasons that I don't want an apartment right now, or at least I should say a lot of apartments on the market don't match my needs right now. One is that almost all of them, standard, normal studio apartment, whatnot, look for a 12-month lease. Well, I don't want to sign a 12-month lease because I don't want to be in an apartment for another 12 months. I can't do it. I can't do it, YouTube. I'm tired of it. Tired of the neighbors. I'm tired of somebody else's property, landlords, rules, gardeners coming, blowing shit on my motorcycle chain. I want to be in control of my own surroundings. And even though my surroundings have shrunken to the inside of my car, I am at least in control of it. I can park wherever I want, can drive wherever I want. It's really a lot more manageable than you might think. Now, of course, having a full-time job with showers helps a lot. It really does. Because little things like going to the bathroom, for example, you need to kind of coordinate with work, with fast food restaurants. Fast food restaurants are typically open, like McDonald's opens at 6. I don't go to McDonald's, but I happen to know from the last time I slept in my car a few years ago that they open at 6, most of them. Del Taco, Taco Bell, those types of places typically not open at 6 o'clock. And even though places like 7-Eleven are open 24 hours a day, they don't have a bathroom. Now, you might think Walmart's not a bad solution, but not every Walmart's open 24 hours a day. In fact, not even every supercenter is open 24 hours a day. And some random guy skateboarding past. And besides that, you don't want to, drive your car to a Walmart every time you want to go to the bathroom. It's kind of inconvenient. So, let's see. Lessons learned week 1, boondocking in the car. Well, I guess one of the lessons I learned was that you can't really see it, but this air mattress that I'm on, if I move around, you can kind of hear it creak. I'm on a full air mattress in the back of an RX 300, and the air mattress is just a little too big. If I move both the seats all the way forward, it would probably work. The only thing is, then I have to move the seats all the way forward, then I have to move them all the way back. Not that I need to move the passenger one back, but I have this weird thing where when I reach over into the passenger seat, I don't want to I don't want the seat to be diagonal to me. I kind of want the seat to be parallel to me. I know it seems kind of dumb, but it's just a little dumb thing that I have where I hate trying to reach over and my arm is hitting the edge of the seat because it's so far forward. It's just kind of annoying. So I don't feel like moving the seats all the way back and then all the way forward. It's just not worth it to me. So yeah, the full mattress works great. What else? My windows that are tinted are barely tinted, so the fact that it's dark helps with the tint a lot. Of course, as soon as I use like a flashlight or my phone screen is really bright, it becomes super obvious that I'm in the car. And I'm trying to keep somewhat of a low profile with regard to that. You know, a lot of people that boondock do it in RVs or vans, and it's not very stealthy. For example, one thing that's not stealthy is having a sunscreen on the front window, and I'll talk about my sort of specific location next to the freeway in a moment, as far as security. I'm in a relatively quiet neighborhood, actually. It's not the best neighborhood, but you know, LA is really kind of a block by block thing. So, like if I go down 2 blocks south on the street I'm on, I'm right next to the freeway, and go into an overpass, there's a bunch of homeless encampments on the overpass. But then if I go down the next block, there's none. So it's sort of really weird how that works. And if I go down a few more blocks, I came up this street more blocks than I had before a few days ago. Some poor soul lost their whole RV to a fire. The whole damn thing just burned to the chassis. It's really a shame, you know, and it made me kind of think about just, you know, like I'm in a small car, but at least it's not burnt down. At least I have my car, you know, like you never really know what you appreciate until you don't have it. So talking about security for a minute, you can't really tell because the phone is not really picking up a lot of this. It's sort of more an audio video than a video. But I'm right next to, I don't know, like a 20-foot sound wall from the freeway, which I don't know if it's that high because they just made it that high because they were nice, or it's that high because it's sort of 12 foot above the ground and then this area of the street is like 12 foot below the freeway grade. Not exactly sure which one that is. I could probably figure it out somehow. I guess if I drove up the freeway and looked at how tall the wall is from the freeway side, that would make sense. But at any rate, so even though I'm right next to the freeway, the sound protection is amazing because I'm so close to this wall and the wall is so tall that unless it's a really loud motorcycle or a truck that's jake braking or something like that, it's really not that bad. I actually had a lot worse sound living on the last street that I lived on because it was sort of a main east-west thoroughfare through Redondo Beach. And cars would blast down this damn street at like 50 miles an hour, and sort of the way our house was set up, it was kind of weird, but we had this sort of like it was like a house and then a double driveway for 4 cars and then our apartment, or sort of the front of the building in front of us and then our house / apartment, whatever, 3-bedroom unit C was in the back. And for whatever reason, when cars drove by, the way the pressure wave hit kind of right down where the driveway was, it kind of like shook the windows and shook the place. So every time a big truck would drive by at 50 miles an hour, and I'm not exaggerating, they would drive by at 50 miles an hour, you'd kind of hear this like this sort of shaking, kind of like when you're sitting at the light and a car drives past you, it kind of like shakes your car. Well, it sort of shook the house. And that was a fairly regular and fairly annoying occurrence. There was also some bump in the road that whenever cars went, we were on the eastbound side, or the south part of the street, so of course you drive on the right, people were going east. The street was a east-west street. And the north side of the street went west, and the south side of the street went east. So eastbound, going away from the ocean, for some reason there's some bump in the road, and every time a damn semi or like flatbed truck or any truck with anything that rattled over any bump, which is pretty much every truck ever made that's a commercial truck, would just have like the loudest rattle or boom, kind of like boom clank rattle, rattle, something like that, some combination thereof. And it was really loud. Sometimes it'd be like boom, like the door, for example, the door on the back of semis, when it's not a container but it's like a big trailer, will typically rattle over bumps. So you'd hear that, you'd hear the cars blast by, the motorcycles blast by. And it wasn't just like at the end of the commute, you know, we're sort of near a spot to go get drinks by the beach and stuff. So like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, it'd pretty much be till like 1:30 in the morning. Cars would be racing by at 50 miles an hour. Here, around all this multifamily stuff, since it's so damn expensive to live in LA, people have to work, which is kind of ironic that it's so quiet living, 5 minutes south of downtown LA like I do, even though I'm next to the freeway, even though there's probably thousands of people within a few minutes walking distance of me. They're all asleep or they're at work, but they're not like hanging out. They're not. There's a few homeless people I see kind of walking up and down, but homeless people are kind of interesting in a lot of different ways. Like you'll see people, going through the recycle. That's kind of a big thing. You'll see people where there's a bunch of encampments kind of camping out, but for whatever reason, this particular area of the block that I'm on, there's not a lot of homeless. But like if you go in, like shit, the 7-Eleven that I go to every morning and grab coffee, which is just a few blocks away, pretty much every morning there's several homeless people hanging out front. I mean, if they're in there getting coffee and then they go do their thing, whatever, it's a free country. You want to get coffee, go get coffee. I don't care if you have a house. I don't care if you smell like shit. You have a right to go into a store and buy whatever you want if you have money. Okay, no big deal. But there was like this tweaker in front of 7-Eleven. He was just like doing the tweak thing, either tweak or crack, but I think it was meth. You really can't tell these days, but he had all the signs of a meth head, kind of looking vacantly in many different directions all at once, kind of convulsing, twitching in weird ways. I didn't really look at his face because I try not to make eye contact with the meth heads. But yeah, he was kind of tweaking and doing weird shit. And it's funny because then some cops pulled up because there was like a policeman in the 7-Eleven when I was about to buy my stuff. Then I walk outside and the tweaker wasn't there, and I couldn't really figure out if the tweaker got picked up by the cops or if he just saw him and was like, oh, fuck that, I'm out of here, so. But anyways, so back to security real quick, because I'm too tired to have this video go much longer than 20 minutes. So I'm parked on an access or a frontage road, I suppose, next to the freeway. On one side of me, I have a wall. On front of me, I have a car. I don't have a car behind me. I could have parallel parked between two cars, but it's late. I didn't feel like going through that much rigmarole, even though I'm not terrible at parallel parking. Somebody will probably pull in behind me later tonight. I don't really doubt it. The street gets pretty full up. So security-wise, I have one side of the street where unless people are walking up and down the little space between the wall and the sidewalk, which is about 5 foot, that's fairly unlikely. People walking up and down the street is somewhat unlikely. And then there's someone in front of me and there's going to be someone in behind me. So really, even though someone would probably have space to walk around my car on all four sides, once a car is parked in front and behind me, it's a lot more likely that I'm going to get, if anyone was going to harass me or whatever, it would be from the street side. And that's, I got a machete over here, a shovel over there, a bat, I think next to me. Where's the bat? Uh-oh, we lost the bat. Nope, the bat's here. So the bat's on the street side. In fact, the bat had a black, grip tape on it. And the grip tape had kind of deteriorated. I don't know if someone left a bat outside or whatever, but it left all this nasty black shit all over my... In fact, I'll show you for a second. kind of see here, all this black bullshit is from the goddamn bat. And at first I thought it was from this bag that I bought, because I bought this used bag from the Samaritan House for like $6. It looked practically brand new. I mean, the shoulder strap was still like folded up in plastic or whatever inside. Thing was immaculate. Immaculate freaking bag. I probably could have paid 20 or 30 bucks for. Paid $6 for it. Love thrift stores so much. I could do a whole video. I could do a video a week practically on thrift stores. But anyways, we got the bat, a machete. I got an Elk Lodge kind of piece of shit, big 5 knife over there. And then I sleep with my Kershaw in my pocket. Obviously I don't want to stab anybody. I don't even want to hit anyone with a bat. I really, it would take a lot for me to defend myself with a bat. If someone's just outside, like, trying to break in, I would, I don't know, shine a light in their face and be like, get the fuck out of here, or something like that, right? If someone actually Jimmy opened the door and, like, started to drag me out, yeah, they're gonna regret it probably pretty quickly. I haven't seen any broken glass on the street yet. It wouldn't surprise me if it happened, but even barefoot, I can probably chase down most people. That's one thing that I have sort of thought about. I'm not sleeping in my goddamn shoes, but I keep my shoes in the front, and it is possible that I should keep my shoes in the back just so I can throw them on if I need be to kind of help defend myself. Because for some reason I find myself out of the car, I don't want to be barefoot. There's so much filth around here, and you just really don't want to be barefoot out in the city. So that's one thing I might need to kind of think about. But I'm not too worried. There's cops everywhere. I don't really have a lot of valuables on me, so I'm not. The chances of someone like trying to armed rob me, considering I'm in the car, it is a Lexus, but there's plenty of other newer, nicer cars around here. My car is a luxury car, but it's not that nice. It used to be nice a few years ago, but it's not that nice anymore. So I don't know how car burglaries work, but obviously you have some tweaker or somebody on drugs or whatever just really desperate for money that they're willing to break into a car. And all cars have alarms these days. My car has an alarm that's set, even though it's not really working as good as it used to. So I'm not super worried about my own personal safety in that sense. Obviously, if you had kids, or maybe you were a little younger, maybe you're a little older, or maybe you weren't, you were a little smaller, or whatever. I'm not gonna try not to say anything too insensitive about whether or not you might be able to defend yourself, but you kind of have an idea whether or not you'd be more comfortable defending yourself or less comfortable defending yourself. Seeing like what this car's doing. Oh yeah, so I got someone coming in to park behind me, which brings me to my next lesson, which is back to the tinted windows. So I need some kind of curtain blackout device to where even if you shine a flashlight in, you can't really see what's going on, because I'm a little self-conscious about like using the flashlight in the car, having my screen really bright. Obviously when the sun comes up, like I'm on a split shift right now from 10:30 to 9 is sort of my standard 10-hour shift. But if I'm sleeping here at like 7 o'clock, 7:30, and the sun's up, it's like really obvious that I'm in the car. And going back to the stealth thing, I'm trying to be stealthy because maybe I really don't know why, but it's not like anyone would really ask me to sleep in a different area, because I know there's people all up and down the street that sleep in their car. If I lived in the neighborhood, I would sort of feel like if they're not there all the time, and there's not giant piles of trash, and they're not like having weird people come, or they have a dog that barks, or Like, if they're not being a nuisance, I wouldn't really care. If they just sleep in their car and go about their day and then come back and sleep in their car, like, it's not really, wouldn't really bother me that much. The way you get caught boondocking and the way you start bothering people is like leaving an impact. If you're leaving trash, you're making noise, you have a big giant 20-foot RV that's just falling apart, flat tires, generator going at night, you know, and it's like clear that you're like making an encampment of your parking spot. But I leave and I come back every day, so I kind of just want to appear like I'm just, ideally I want to appear like I'm just parking here. Now, I'm not doing the best job in the world because, like I said, it's somewhat obvious that I'm sleeping in the car if you were kind of paying attention. So, like, if you saw me park and then realized I didn't get out of my car all night, that would be kind of obvious. If you realize that I have a sun visor up and it's 10 o'clock at night, that's sort of like a giveaway sign. Or I have a towel in the window. I got to work on something slightly more discreet than a towel. But it's all I have right now. Or at least all I've bought. I can go to the store and buy something, but it's all I've bought at the moment. I think that's like the 4th or 5th yawn. There should be like a 5 yawn limit to all YouTube videos. But I just kind of wanted to check in. But yeah, the big reasons that I'm in the car for the moment, I'm not looking to sign a 12-month lease. I really, really, really don't want a roommate. I'm just kind of tired of doors slamming and people over and playing video games or watching TV, not cleaning up, too many rules, not enough rules. You know, move your car, I got to move my, it's just a constant hassle. It's a constant distraction from the serenity that I need working 55 hours a week. I need to be able to go to a spot and sleep and not have anybody fucking bother me at all about anything. I mean, I'm a good roommate. I almost never have guests over, always clean up my crap, always try to be respectful to everyone. And my last roommates were not bad roommates, but you know, every time a door slams, it just wears on you a little bit. Every time they try to stuff more stuff in the garbage because they don't want to take it out, it wears on you a little bit. Every time they want to play video games, it'll, 10:30 at night and you're just tired from a long day. It kind of all adds up. And I already have enough stuff going on in my life with trying to buy the house and getting all my ducks in a row for that, to work being a lot, to just other stuff going on this year, trying to go to Europe. So, a lot of people might think, oh, you're living in a car, like that must be rough. Living in a car is the easiest thing I have going on in my life right now. It really takes very little effort. In fact, one of my coworkers did it for several months, something like 6 or 7 months or something, when she was in between jobs. And she was like, just got a gym membership with the last amount of my money. And then I think she did I don't know if she did Uber or Lyft at that time, but I think that's 6 yawns. I was kind of joking with her about it, like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to live in my car. And because she's done it before, she's not really having any of this pity party shit. And she's like, well, it's not that hard. And I kind of thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I guess it really isn't that hard. You just go somewhere and park and sleep. Like that's all that's required of you when you live in your car, right? Having the job, obviously, and showers at work makes it immensely more tolerable. Because I wake up, I had a shower tonight before I left just because I was kind of sweaty at work, and I hate going to bed sweaty and sticky. It's just the worst. But Monday through Friday, I get up, get some coffee, donut, drive down to work area, maybe take care of an errand or two. I read for 30, 40 minutes in the parking lot today at work. Finished a really cool book by Philip Dick called Clans of the Alphane Moon, I think. Really interesting book about the clans of the Alphane Moon. But anyways, so Monday through Friday is really not that bad. After work, I try to stay Sometimes a little bit extra just to kind of make sure I'm tired, which usually isn't a problem when you work 10 hours a day on your feet. So I take a shower or I don't take a shower, depending on how sweaty I am. Drive to my spot. Maybe dick around on the phone for a little bit like I'm doing tonight. And then go to sleep, wake up, do it again. Saturday, laundry, maybe do a little bit of work, or maybe just kind of mess around, hang out with some friends or something. Sunday, this last Sunday, I went surfing in the morning, and actually there was a car show at the beach that I went surfing at, which is kind of a really cool coincidence. So got there at 6:30, surfed for a couple hours, or tried to surf for a couple hours, mostly trying, mostly not surfing, sadly, but getting better. And then did the car show for a couple hours, got a little bit of sun, felt a little sick. Got some food, went to work, did like an hour of work because I said I was going to do this thing that one of my coworkers wanted me to do, so I did that. Went to the park, read a little bit more, drove around a little bit, got some more food, came, slept, then it was Monday, So I definitely am not suffering hugely in the quality of my life. I still have an enormous amount of time on the weekends to do stuff. I mean, obviously, like trying to invite a girl back to your car is a little bit weird. Perhaps not impossible, but not necessarily something I'm desiring to do at this point. That being said, most girls have their own place, or at least a place that they sleep at that's not their car, with a roommate or whatever. If I ever met someone at a bar and we were looking to become more intimate and we both slept in our car, I'm sure we'd probably both laugh our asses off about it because it'd be too funny of a coincidence. But I'm getting off topic. So yeah, day 8, week number 2. Feeling like I don't necessarily want to do this forever, but I want to get to at least a month. My goal is at least a month. I was looking at an apartment today. It was I wouldn't mind doing a month-to-month thing in an apartment, but I just can't do a 12-month thing, because at least if it's month-to-month and I just don't like the place, I can move out and no big deal. But if it's a 12-month thing and you just have the worst neighbors for 12 months, I'd lose my shit, I think. So it's $1,500. It was like 30 or 40 minutes away from work. And it's like, for like $2,000 a month, I can buy a house. So like $500 more, I can have my own shit. Versus $1,500 and it's your shit. So I'm kind of tired of paying money out of the bank for your shit that I don't get to keep. I don't want to borrow your shit. I want to own my shit. It's generally the better way to go about life. Better not to borrow, better to own. Better to pay cash if you can, but if you can't buy a house cash, most people can't, at least in the beginning, finance it, because the money's cheap. The house might appreciate very close to what you're financing it for anyways. Not that it exactly works out like that, because you pay a lot of interest over the years, which I'm trying to avoid by putting some sweat equity in and getting out of the PMI. But more about real estate later. This move that I'm doing in the car is helping me save money. I already have some money saved up, but it's helping me save even more money. 1-bedroom studio is something like $1,200, $1,300 a month in a rough area, $1,400, $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 a month, and not even that nice of an area, but a nicer area. I was looking at a place that was $1,500 a month, so $1,509, I think, with the month-to-month deal, $1,475 on a 12-month lease, which is actually pretty reasonable because, that's $9.25, so $34 a month to be able to move out any month you want. That's such a great deal. So until next time, YouTube, I hope things are going well. I hope you own a house or are working towards owning a house. Hope you have a job or at least some kind of income coming in. Hope you're saving money. I hope you're prepping. hope all in life is well. And if it's not, maybe it'll be better tomorrow. And if tomorrow's not better, well, hang in there and maybe the day after tomorrow will be better. You never know. Life is good sometimes, life is bad sometimes, but it's typically not the same all the time. And that's all the prophetic words I have for this evening. Until next time, keep your cars and motorcycles running better than I do. Keep safe. Keep learning new skills. And as always, keep prepping. It's LA Prepper signing out from the back of his car, which I won't be in forever, but I'm in for now, and it's not that bad. Take care, y'all. See you next time.